Tinks.
You can say that.
You can say whatever the fuck I want.
It's our show.
Podcast.
Alright. All rolling?
We're all rolling.
Alright, we're gonna fire the record up. Alright, everybody. Welcome to the first ever TAGNBRAG Podcast.
First ever.
We are coming at you live from HQ 2.0 in our little home studio here. Beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. It's a little bit of a rough day today, but it is what it is. Anyway.
It's always a good day.
It's always a good day when you're breathing. Anyway, we're firing up this podcast. We've had a lot of inquiries about it, and so Dean and I just figured, well, we could just kind of sit down and bullshit a little bit.
Yeah.
Uncensored, uncut, just us.
Absolutely.
We don't really do enough of that. We do a lot of it, but we don't film enough of it.
Right. We do it all the time.
So we kind of wanted to, driving in the car, traveling around,
Lots of
at
BS.
camp, there's a lot of BS and a lot of great conversations that we feel like would be valuable to the viewer. And we've kind of thrown a couple ideas out there from time to time, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. So, nonetheless, without further ado, here we are. I think what we want to do is just start with a little history of ourselves. We've had a lot of people inquire about like how we got started, what we do on a daily basis, how we got into the hunting industry, and I don't know that many people realize that we're 10 years into this at this
crazy.
point.
It doesn't feel like it.
And
Well, it does, but it doesn't.
yeah, it feels like it. Sometimes it feels like it's been 20.
Yeah.
But we've been fortunate to grow up in a family of hunters and just a family that has loved the outdoors for our whole life, and that's what really got us involved in it. But we've been actually like filming and creating TAGNBRAG and kind of going through that journey and that process for 10 years now. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and that's like official TAGNBRAG.
Right.
Not counting before that.
Right.
Unofficial TAGNBRAG.
Right. The years where we had like the Sony camcorder around our neck, it was a blue camcorder running off of 8mm.
Shiny blue.
Yeah, so we covered it in camo felt. It was like literally hanging off our neck. I remember the one hunt that we actually flung an arrow. You flung an arrow. I was the cameraman sitting below you, and you were sitting above me, and like we were jacking around all morning. Didn't see a deer. It was freezing. 10:30. Like I turned around, and there's a really nice for that at that time in our lives, like a really nice 8-point right behind us, like 25 yards. And he couldn't have read the script any more perfect.
No, he couldn't have.
How did that end?
That's actually funny because that's a vintage Dave and I hunt with the example that's nothing has really ever changed, because we spooked the deer at 20 yards because I tried to pull my bow back. My elbow got caught in my safety strap, which has caused me to hate safety straps ever since that day. But got caught in my safety strap. I could only get my bow like 2/3 of the way back. Jerked my bow down. Arrow flies off the rest. The deer looks up at us, but somehow it wasn't even that spooked. But he ended up trotting back to like, what was it, like almost 60 yards. And me, being the conservative that I am as far as hunting goes, like I like to play it safe or just be very sure of my shot. In my head, I'm thinking, no, okay, the shot's blowing. I'm not. The deer's gone. He's out of our life. And David is whispering, shoot, shoot, like get an arrow towards him.
I'm all about seizing the opportunity. And
seizing the opportunity. So I tried that, and ended up hitting that deer not good. We ended up tracking him. I don't know what it was, about a mile, but the neighbor ended up shooting him a week later in gun season. So he didn't badly wound the deer. We kicked him up the next morning chasing like 4 or 5 doe.
Yeah.
So,
but that was kind of the start of.
That was the start of
that's documented for sure. We could find that in the archive somewhere. Although we'll have to figure out how to
convert it to digital.
Yeah, because it's on an 8mm right now. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can kind of get us going on how how we got started, the college years.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people ask us how we got started or like, how do you start in the industry? And like, I don't know, the best answer I have to that is just to start. Because there's no like way to start. There really isn't.
There's so many variables. There's so many things that you have to, like, you're talking about like starting. What does that even mean? Like starting what? Starting filming? You want to start like a show?
You want to start like a sponsor? Like, yeah, what are you trying to...
Right.
We've transitioned or adapted literally every year for the last 15 years. I mean, where we are today isn't where we really ever wrote the script at where we thought we would be 10 years ago. So what we started doing and where we started, I mean, it was just, we kept evolving as we were going. I mean, you'd hit a new challenge, you'd shift gears, you know, you'd work around it this way and it points you in another direction. When you hit another challenge and you leap over it or you start working this way, it just, there's no like formula to getting going in the outdoor industry.
You just have to do it. You have to be willing to do it.
But if you're gonna do it, you have to love it so much that you're willing to go through all those hurdles and get beat down and change your course and do all these things, because it's not gonna be just like, okay, here's the blueprint, let me go through these steps for the next couple of years, I'm gonna build my following, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't happen like that.
I think a lot of what we maybe it was a mistake that we made or not, but a lot of what we were searching for in the first years that we were starting this is for a blueprint. There's no blueprint.
No, there's not.
There's no blueprint. Like, I mean, like you said, we went through so many different variables, and you just have to be willing to make sacrifices and commit yourself to filming. Like, if you want an actual show, you're gonna have to go through years and years and years of filming, editing, trying to putting out content yourself and getting feedback before you ever can ask anyone for anything.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of time getting sacrificed, and this honestly applies to whatever you're doing in life. It doesn't have to be following the passion of the outdoors and hunting. I mean, it could be starting a food blog or whatever you're doing. You know, you're going to have to sacrifice time if you're working on the side of it and doing, you're going to have to sacrifice extra time to get something built to where you want it to go in the future, to where it's actually producing or what you call where you want to be in life, what you want to be doing. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of sacrifice. There is.
I mean, when we committed ourselves to filming, we were both going to Ohio State, and I mean, basically, we would, once after Dean graduated from freshman year, we were able to schedule our classes similar, and we would either schedule our classes Monday, Wednesday, dog scratching at the door, Gemma. We would either schedule our classes Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, so that we could have a 4-day gap to go hunt in the fall. And we would schedule them, we stacked our classes, and I mean, we weren't, like, we had a lot of fun in college, don't get me wrong, throughout the rest of the year and stuff, but in the fall, like, we were committed to trying to go film our hunts and get content for ourselves. We just were.
Yeah, especially being at Ohio State, like, Gemma! Being at Ohio State, a huge, school like that,
Just keep going.
Being at a huge school, I mean, some of our friends thought we were nuts because, the social life is huge, you're meeting new people, you're doing all these things on the weekend, there's so many things going on, and
just keep going, just keep rolling through it. Doesn't, who cares?
The social life is huge, so we're missing out on all these things, but we're sacrificing all that to, follow our passion of the outdoors and go hunt on the weekends. That's just what we love to do. Like, we didn't, not to say that we didn't care, because we loved hanging out with our friends, we loved going out and having a good time, which we still got our times with doing that, but there was no drive to do that every weekend. We just wanted to...
This is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
This is what we were passionate about.
I mean, yeah, we couldn't wait to get out of our 2 days of stacked classes and be like, we're out of here Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and we'll see you Monday.
Yeah, we're going on the road, we're going to hunt.
Yeah. Spent a lot of money on fuel.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and I think the hardest part the hardest part about those years, like in college and stuff, when we were sacrificing all this time and stuff with our friends and like that college lifestyle, is we weren't successful hunting at all.
wasn't even paying off.
Not filming hunting. Like, we blew so many opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was a 3 or 4
year
year stretch, which obviously would have been like your whole college career, that like we didn't get it done
at all. I didn't kill a deer. I mean, maybe we killed a couple does, maybe we like a periodic buck here and there, but we're not good at what we did. Yeah, the last weekend of the season in Ohio, remember we spotted those 6 bucks and they were posted up like at the edge of that field, and we thought we could like do a little push, and we did. And they came right by me. I shot that one buck at like 30 yards, but it was off camera.
Yeah, it wasn't on camera.
Although, like, the whole year, 4 months worth of time filming.
Nothing.
And that one time we gave it up. I mean, not like, I don't know. It was you and me. Like, there was no, like, I don't know. We didn't sell film as well as we do now then. But, like, that was the hardest part. Is like,
we didn't have the equipment to do.
No,
we weren't capture it like that.
Good. Like, we weren't.
We weren't good.
We weren't good. We sucked.
No.
I mean, but that, you had to. You have to.
Yeah, we started from, just literally started from scratch, filming. I mean, even hunting, like, we grew up with a hunting family, but we had a certain way of doing things, like old school hunting. Like, it wasn't, we were learning daily.
Right.
And a lot of times that you and I were out, like, we were by ourselves.
Right.
You're going to Illinois, wherever, and getting thrown into these good hunting areas, like, young, with experience, but not like bow hunting experience to where like, oh, we're going to try to kill a good buck.
Right. And that's what I think, there's, not that there's a misconception, but those years people have never seen.
Right.
And that's something that Dean and I kind of hold close to us, because, and it's something that I think it's one of the reasons we are where we are now, obviously, but like, and we wouldn't be here today if we didn't experience that. Like, but we went through a lot of hard years of us, like, literally questioning what we were doing and why we were doing it.
Yeah, no, there was times, more than one, that we were just like, all right, this is not what we should be doing.
Right. To the point where we're getting frustrated with each other. We're getting frustrated, like, hunting wasn't fun anymore.
It was making it not fun.
And so, yeah, you're questioning it, but then, like, you're also looking back on all the time and effort you put in, like, years of effort that you put in. You're like, how do we not do this?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right not to be doing what we were doing.
Right.
So we just kept going.
So the deer were beating us down, and on the flip side of that, the industry was just pretty much beating us down. Because, we didn't really have much going. No, but we didn't have a ton going, and obviously the industry was telling us that. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So there was no confidence, esteem booster, like, from anyone that was like, man, you guys are putting in the work, like, keep at it, It was pretty much just like, no, you guys aren't good enough, but no, you're not there yet.
Right. And I remember the first company that gave us a chance was Ramcat.
Yeah.
Well, kind of simultaneously, Ramcat and Grow the Bone.
Yeah. And
Brad Fulton and Brian Mallon, those were the two guys that were the first two guys that believed in us and what we were doing.
Yeah. And honestly, when I look back at it, like, Brian is probably one of the reasons why we stuck doing with what we were doing. In all honesty.
Oh, for sure he is.
If we didn't have his energy and confidence, like, he really believed and loved what we were doing.
Because he watched. Like, he took the time. He took the time to get to know us and, like, watch.
Yeah.
And he knew. We knew we had something.
Yeah.
Like, we knew. Like, our personalities and just, like, we knew we didn't know what we had or how we were going to, like, portray it, but we knew we had something. Always. We always did. But you're right. Brian is probably he is one of the guys that, like, kept us going.
No, you could tell he genuinely appreciated what we did for him in his company, even though it wasn't like a ton, but he did. He genuinely expressed that to us. And at least it kept me going. I was like, because I was beat down.
We were. It was hard. It was brutally hard. and to the point where, like, I mean, yeah, you were questioning like life decisions. You were questioning a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a burden on relationships with family at times. I mean, with it was a whole different style of hunting where we had like and our family, like our group of hunters that we grew up with kind of started to peter off and die out as we were progressing in what we did with the filming side of things. But at the same time, we kind of alienated ourselves a little bit at that point.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Brian, he stuck with us the whole time.
Yeah, he did. But we, so honestly, once it got to that point, we would hear from different companies in the industry that we would try to reach out to, which we came into the hunting industry with zero connections. I mean, we had nothing. It wasn't like a relative or someone, like, we had nothing. So any contact we were making, we were starting from 100% scratch. This was breaking through the surface, like, all on us.
Right. No family members knew anybody, no nothing. I mean, the first real contact we made was at the Campbell, Illinois Whitetail Challenge. And what was that, 2011?
Right.
And Tom Petrie, like, once again, for whatever reason, like, he gravitated to us. Like, he was waking us up at 4 a.m, shoving a camera in our face, and we went in there. We had a tiny Canon camcorder, and all these guys are running like $3,000 to $5,000 massive camera units, crazy production equipment. Dean and I like get there, and we're like, "What are we even doing here?"
Yeah, our main camera was several guys' secondary camera.
Yeah,
that was like their second angle or whatever you want to call it,
or
camera.
Backup
camera.
Something they just had in the truck.
We were just kind of like, "What are we doing here?"
But I mean, that, like, Tom was one of our first, like, he was the first, like, industry connection, and he's the one that introduced us to Brian.
Yep.
He did. Remember? I mean, when we were leaving Illinois that first year, he gave us a bag, three bags to grow the bone, and then we met Brian like a couple months later at the Ohio show.
Yep.
And that's where it kind of kicked off.
Yeah.
The Campbell Illinois Challenge really kind of put us
into something.
Yeah.
Into the industry.
Right.
Even though we really weren't,
but it felt like we were at that time. We were on cloud nine.
I don't know. I guess from there, like, we heard from so many companies that, everyone's trying to do what you guys are doing. You're not really different from anybody. Like, there's a million people trying to video, do this and do that. We were hearing that from so many companies, and we were kind of just scratching our head, going, "All right, how can we
be different?
How can
we felt like we were different?
How can we be different if everyone's trying to do this?" So, I mean, at the end of our college years and then the first couple of years out of school, we started creating a social network for hunting and fishing and a phone app that was like a Facebook for hunting and fishing. But we said, you know what? If everybody's trying to do this, but not everybody can get in with these companies, let's make a place on the internet for all these people to show off what they're doing, because they can't all get their faces shown like through a TV show or with these companies. So let's give them a place to do that. So that was kind of our vision, and that was honestly how the name Tag and Brag started, is through that social networking website, which then transitioned into just a phone app. That's how the name Tag and Brag started. That's how the whole business model, if you will, started.
And our personal videos were going to be a way to combat that, basically prove, get people on the site, and then what we thought would happen was vice versa. We could load this platform up with tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, and then hopefully they would watch us, and we could get paid for what we love to do.
Yeah.
That was kind of what we were thinking.
That was the plan, yeah. But I mean, it had to be, how many years did we?
Dude, it was 3 or 4 years. At least 3 or 4 years for sure that we did that. We went through
transition from. Honestly, we could talk for a week about the life we lived trying to create a social network and phone app. It was the most stressful, outrageous, we went through the craziest obstacles doing that, which was unreal, like just learning lessons for business, but life in general. But we went through so many different developers.
We went through probably 6 to 7 different developers, and I remember, I mean, just a few things. I mean, we got on our site, on our original site, we got, which was super cookie cutter, like super basic. We got almost 6,000 users, and that was like literally by hand. I remember being up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, sending like personal Facebook messages out to people, just like begging them, please get up here,
try it.
post a picture. Like, I don't care, just get on here.
Right.
And we got up to like 5,000 or 6,000 users,
Yeah, I think it
just
was
like
actually a
literally
lot.
knocking on doors.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. And then you get to a point where you gotta update and change your site, and then something would happen with a developer, so we'd have to go transition to a new one. And they would tell you, I can't read the last developer's code.
Right. So we got to start over again.
So whether that was true or not, we didn't know. We weren't coders, so they could have been BSing us, saying, we just want we want to create a new website for you for business.
More money.
Yeah. But every single developer will tell you that. Oh, I can't read the language on the last code. I can't read the language on the last code. I can't read the language on the last code. It was like a nightmare. So finally we had, what happened with our last 2 or 3 developers?
Dude, we had a developer from Florida that took like $8,000 and just pieced. Was halfway through a project, was like, basically, F you guys, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, done.
We had a developer that went to jail. We had a developer that, the last developer, we had a developer, the group of developers that fired us.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't want to work with you guys anymore. And just because of our difference in expectations. And then the last straw was, we were working with a developer and his dad called me. We were supposed to have a meeting on Thursday, didn't hear from him, texted him, calling him throughout the weekend. His dad called me on Sunday and was like, Nikita had a brain aneurysm and he died. He was 28 years old. Like you can't make that up.
We sat in silence for like 10 minutes, just like, what is going on? Like,
we weren't meant to do this.
And obviously, like, that was a ridiculously sad story, but that just took us back so much, and we were like, okay, we're done with this. Right. This has just been 3-4 years of just like battles.
Well, and you saw like a decline in like the videos that we were producing, and just like the passion and the love that we had for that was going away, because we were putting so much time and energy into creating something that we thought was for us, but it was for everyone else, and then realizing that like we're only competing with Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and we're never going to compete with them.
No, we're never going to compete with them. So yeah, we got totally away from the reason we started filming and doing everything.
We got away from what we're passionate about. Honestly,
it was just being outdoors, being in front of the camera, entertaining people, making people laugh, and doing what we love while we were entertaining people.
Right.
And now it's gotten to, education and just bringing people along with the.
You can keep going.
Now it's just bringing people along for the ride with us, but we were completely getting away from all that while we were going through the business side of the creating a social network. And finally, Dave and I were just like, you know what, we got to get back to our roots here and just invest our time into creating content, creating videos, and almost we were going to take it as let's invest in that, and whatever happens. We're not going to beg the industry to give us sponsorships. We're not going to do all these things. And we did. We put all our time into that. We started.
And we realized like we got to a point, and that was the point, I guess. And we realized like, okay, this industry right now at that time, probably like 2014, 15-ish, like it was all about killing big deer. That's what it was about. It was all about killing big deer, and then now there was like a huge wave of like the crazy production. The Heartland bow hunter was starting to boom. It was just like that kind of vibe was there. So we realized at that point, like, we were never going to kill as many big bucks as Lee and Tiffany. It just wasn't going to happen. That's not how we were going to thrive. That's not how we were going to differentiate ourselves. We were never going to outproduce like a Heartland bow hunter or driven TV, whatever. Like we were never going to do that. So we had to figure out our niche, and it really made us sit back and like think about what we were doing and kind of structure how we were doing it. And we were like, we film everything. Like we film everything. Why are we holding any of this back from people? Number one, we work hard at filming all of it, and it's all like, at least we thought we were entertaining it for the, at times or whatever. So like we knew we had something that was pretty entertaining. So and if we were only going to take out the kills, like the deer kills from anything that we filmed, it would have been like 5%, if that, of what we were doing.
Well, the videos we were.
So we're like, why can't we show everybody everything? And we shifted our thinking from like creating to just documenting what we do and our lifestyle. And then we started putting vlogs out there, and we started with probably like, I don't know, 30 or 40 the first year, which we thought was a lot.
Yep.
And then the second year it was like 80 or 90, and then like the third year it was like 150, and everybody thought we were nuts.
Right. Yeah.
But what I think what it proved for us is like the more at-bats you give yourself, all of a sudden like the interaction started to snowball.
Right.
Like the views started to snowball. And what we learned far back in first getting into the hunting industry is if you want to make money, like, which I don't know that necessarily should be the end-all goal if you're trying to like do this anyway, but if you're trying to make money, like you have to attract eyeballs. That's what's going to make you money. And so for our sake, we're just going to be relentless in producing content. We're going to produce more content than anybody else.
Yep.
It might be 2-minute videos, it might be 20-minute videos, but you're going to get videos, multiple videos on a weekly basis, and that's just how we're going to roll. And we're going to let the people decide what they like and what they don't like. And it worked. What's up, Gemma?
We got dogs on set.
Look at this little fluffer nutter. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was that was the turning point for us to like actually feel like we were in control again.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it was just let's expose our life pretty much, and we were even realizing that people that don't even hunt were enjoying watching us do what we
Right.
did just because we were doing we were just doing our life. We were doing what we love to do.
Yep.
And it was I think you could start seeing that in our videos. It wasn't just like, oh, make it this way so that you can appease a company, or like you can
Right.
attract, you can feel like your standard is where it's supposed to be in the
Right.
industry. You know, it was just kind of we created our own format, our own energy in our videos. It was we went outside the rules, the norms, I guess.
Yeah, the passion was there again, and what we were doing, because we were doing it every day, and we were doing what we loved, and there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't a standard to hit. It wasn't like we have to kill a deer in order to be successful. Now
Right.
we control our own destiny. We didn't have to, like, we still don't kill as many deer as other people. We just don't do it. We don't probably kill as many deer to have like a 13 episode good TV show.
Right.
We just don't. But we're like everything's growing. Everything's growing,
Right.
and we're attracting more people. And it was that shift, and it was more of a shift of like, how can we get more people outside of the hunting industry to understand our lifestyle and want to do it too. That was where and that was a major part of it, you know.
Right.
And so it was like it was an opportunity for us, or our thought process was like, how can we inspire other people? Not only to like want to get, maybe want to try hunting or want to get involved in the hunting industry, but just to do what they're like meant to do, what they know they're meant to do.
Right.
Like inspire people to do that. If everyone did that, this world would be a different place.
Maybe.
And obviously, like it's not like that's, it's not feasible or practical. Maybe, I guess, but everybody can control their own destiny.
Yep.
And so that was, I don't know, that was the kind of shift, and that's our main mission and goal today.
Yeah.
It's like we're here to inspire people to do what they love. Like,
I mean, honestly, it doesn't even mean you have to do it for a living. Like,
right.
Just do it.
Do it. Just
spend
do it.
more time doing it.
Exactly.
Like, it'll make you happier.
Exactly.
You don't have to be like, oh, I'm not going to make it because I can't make a living doing what I love to do because it's this or whatever. Maybe
Right.
it doesn't have to be for a living. Like, but yeah,
But do more of it.
do more of it.
And don't make excuses on why you can't, because you can.
Right.
Trust me, you can. You can figure out a way. If we can, you can.
Yeah.
we've
A
been
lot of
through
years.
a lot of years going through the ringer, and yeah, just there's a lot of reasons why we shouldn't be here right now. And I'm proud that we are. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that if you watch our videos right now, and you can go back 3 years, you can go back 6 years, you can go back 8 years. Like, you watch our videos and the vibe that we give off, it's the same.
It is the same.
It's the same, and that's one of the things that Dean and I said from the beginning, and the thing that I am most proud of with us is that we've stayed 100% true and authentic to ourselves. We haven't let a sponsor or another company change that. We haven't let the negative feedback or the industry change that. We haven't let like people coming down on us or our following going up change that at all. Like, we've stayed 100% true and authentic to ourselves, and that's, I mean, if there's anything that I'm the most proud of out of this whole journey, that's for sure it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny getting into the industry. Like, aside from just having kind of like friendships in the industry, like, I don't feel like we're higher than we were when we started 10 years ago.
I
I feel like we're the same people. Like, I don't feel like
we're better.
like, no, I don't at all. It's just, we're just doing what we love.
Yeah.
And there's more people following us, but I don't even look at, like, I don't know. I just don't even, that doesn't faze me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't feel any different. I don't
Right.
feel like we've made it or anything like that. And
Right,
it's not even
right.
close to that. 'Cause
right.
we really haven't, but,
But yeah, there's a lot of people in a following that, that's different now than it was back,
Sure.
then. Even year to year, it just keeps snowballing, and that's like a humbling aspect for us for this whole thing. But yeah, I agree. It's like, I don't know, we don't hold ourselves above or below anybody else.
Not at
We're all
all.
on an even playing field here, and ultimately, like, as far as the hunting industry goes, and kind of some of the negative feedback that it gets, or the negative like flack that's kind of thrown back and forth even between hunters, like we just don't like get involved in it. It's like, if it's legal, go do your thing. Like, we just need more people involved in hunting to keep the sport alive. That's what we're here for. I mean, if we're here to combat each other at all, it's going to die out quicker. With a couple questions.
yeah.
I mean, Logan Whitaker on Facebook says, already knowing that you guys love hunting just as much as me, but my question is, when did you guys know you wanted to join the hunting industry?
Wait. I just blanked out. I had to turn the camera back on right at that 22-minute mark. Do you want to say again? Let's
question.
start with a couple questions.
Alright, cool. Alright, so yeah, let's start with a couple questions here. We'll go to Facebook. Logan Whitaker, already knowing that you guys love hunting as much as me, my question is, when did you guys know you wanted to join the hunting industry? Honestly, we knew when we were like 10, 8, 9, 10 years old. We were watching the Monster Bucks series, the Drurys.
Yeah.
We had any and all DVD you could think of, Primos. We watched all those shows, and we were always like, it was funny because at that young of an age, both of us knew, like, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like, we want to do this.
Right.
This is what we want to show. But it felt different because we did not hunt anywhere near like they did on TV.
No.
So, I mean, it was a super young age. 10, 12 years old, I don't know.
For sure, yeah. We always just had the dream. That was what we wanted to do.
Yep.
I mean, it was just always there.
Yeah. I'd like to know, so Steve Mahler, I'd like to know the top 3 things that get you guys annoyed of each other while working together. I mean, you guys are brothers. There's got to be some good ones. That's funny too. I mean, I think, it is funny.
Yeah, we're completely different people.
Yeah, because that's what people don't probably don't realize is we obviously look very similar. We are two completely different people, operate like two different ways. And in the past, I think it took a while to realize that.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Because for years it was like you butt heads, you get sick of each other, or you just get annoyed at the other person's tendencies because they're not like you, thinking like you.
Right.
But I think like I don't know, the last 5-6 years, it's just like who you spend so much time with them, like you just like I know who he is, how he thinks,
right,
and like I don't get mad at it. Like I almost know before something happens, like how you're gonna react or what's gonna happen, because I already know him. So it's kind of an acceptance thing at this point.
Well, and we've used our differences to our advantage. I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really do. Like.
No, honestly, I think that's been one factor in our success, even with business, is that we are so different. If we were the same person, I don't think we would get where we are today. Because I do things that you don't like to do, you do things that I don't like to do, and I don't think we would have made it if.
It's funny. We're doing a leadership course right now, and we're doing it separate. Like we each have our own meetings set up with our mentors and stuff like that, and we go through like personality traits and like likes and dislikes, and we're going through like my dislikes last week or something like that, and like the bottom 6 things that I just hate to, I don't have any interest in doing, and it's all the things that Dean loves to do, and I'm like, thank God, thank God, because it just, and we were laughing, Jay and Kim Perry are our mentors that we work with, and we were cracking up on the phone together, because I'm like, you guys, like, you have no idea, like, I literally hate all these things, but Dean is so good at them, so we just roll with it. It's weird.
And it's funny. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure it is.
I mean, yeah, normally you work with someone daily and you're like, man, we're polar opposites, like, this sucks, but I don't know, you've learned to, like, appreciate it so much, because it helps.
Yeah, and you learn the other person, and you just, you know,
yeah,
it's a continuity thing, like, you just, there's charisma there, and I think not only in business, but people don't realize that in like in the hunting world too. Like for a cameraman and stuff, like it's hard to just throw somebody up in a tree with a camera that you don't know, that you don't have like charisma with, because it's a 2-person sport now.
Team sport. You can't just throw any random person up there and go get it done.
Right. And so like for us, and when we're filming, together, like if I'm hunting or vice versa, it's like we both know where we're at. We both know like our little communication cues and stuff like that. And when that deer's coming in or whatever, that moment of truth, like we're both pretty calm. Although getting back to our earlier conversation, like we've had a lot of experience in the other direction that's helped with that.
Yeah.
So. All right, so Philip Keppel says, with so many people thinking how nice it would be to just hunt and send out a few social media posts, how do you handle all the pressure of so many tasks you take on, including all the hours of creating and editing so much film and great videos while maintaining all the details of the business side of the industry? It's a good question. The urgent important list right here. Daily. We fill this out daily. And
honestly, it helps.
Yeah, no, we have our list. We have our list that we make out daily. I mean, honestly, it kind of goes back to like the personality thing, where I've taken over a lot more of like the editing or at least just the organization.
Yeah.
Around the editing and when we need to get things out and organizing all of our footage and stuff like that. And Dean handles a lot of like the business side of things, making sure all of our equipment is up and running, making sure that sponsors are contacted, and that the organization of our
paying people, getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. The money transfer side of things, which I hate, and he's good at keeping track of all that stuff. So that's a hard thing, and what people see on camera from us, they don't realize there's probably 3 to 4 times amount of time outside of that just orchestrating that video alone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and we've developed, a system of organizing all of our footage so that we know exactly where it's at. That takes a lot of time or adds to the efficiency of our editing. We've kind of narrowed down our editing and like the effects that we use and stuff and the titles and everything like that, and so we can kind of plug and play those into where we need to. But it's I mean, it's a job to get all that stuff out. That's the job portion of it.
It's a lot of work. I mean, I can't even. We talk about it sometimes during the season. Like, I can't even imagine just putting on my camo, grabbing my bow, and walking
to the stand
to hunt.
Right.
I mean, we're organizing. Not only are you using a camera and getting all your gear together, but it's got to be organized the night before. You got to make sure everything's charged, cards are cleared. There's so many little things that even just using your equipment, like, it's not only having more equipment to bring out in the woods, organize, set up, it's little things that you have to do with that equipment to keep going.
Right.
We didn't even realize when we got started, but there's just, even when you get back from the woods at the end of the day, you want to just take your gear off and relax. Well, you can't just leave your camera stuff in the bag. You got to take everything out, make sure it's dry, take your cards out, load your footage, take the batteries out, put them on the charger.
Multiple batteries. Now, like, throughout the night, you're switching batteries out because every battery needs to get charged. I mean, November's nuts.
It doesn't end.
November, end of October, early November, when we're hunting a majority of the daylight hours. So we get home, like Dean said, load footage, organize it, and most of in our rut week in New York, it's 4 people's footage. It's my footage, your footage, Dad's, Uncle Jeffrey's, bare minimum.
All our cameras.
We have 2 to 3 cameras a piece, bare minimum, and so you're loading probably 8 to 10 different cameras worth of footage, organizing all that. Now that's that much more footage that you're going through and editing as well. And so somebody's making dinner, I'm usually on the computer loading all this footage and then editing and stuff, and then Dean will take over and do some of the final edits before we go to bed. You get to bed at like midnight, 12:30, and you're getting back up at 4:30 in the morning to do it all over again, to go just like beat your body up and sit in the tree for the next day.
Yeah.
It's pretty out of control.
Yeah.
And you do that for 10 days straight, but that's just like a 10-day stretch in November. Like, we're doing this all year.
Right.
And it's different waves of it, obviously, but
it is a lot. It's a lot to organize, a lot to keep. It's a full-time thing.
No doubt. All right, let's get one more on here on Facebook. We'll do Michael Wolf. How do you keep the passion of hunting with all the negatives that come from filming? I self-filmed long enough to realize it was killing my chances at hunting. Filming is awesome when it all comes together, but it does suck when it doesn't. Yeah, we've committed ourselves at this point. I can't imagine going into the woods with the camera any other way, but as we talked about earlier, there was those days where we realized, like, filming was killing our chances of hunting or killing. Like, it just was.
Yeah, you gotta be 100. You just gotta be bought in, and saying, I'm getting this done with the
with the camera.
I'm gonna fail with the camera. I'm gonna succeed with the camera.
Right.
But the cool thing is once you start getting good at it, you'll never master it, because every hunt and situation is different, and it always will be. But hunting is a rewarding sport in general. It's so rewarding when you can get it done with the camera. And not only that, like, you'd be surprised how many times the camera has helped
recover
our hunt. Yeah, and not even just recover, just learn about the deer. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've had an encounter with a deer, left the camera running, zoomed out, and we're conversing in there. We think the deer's gone, and like, we look back at the footage and we realize, like, oh, we thought he went this way. Well, he's sneaking through the cover going this way. Whatever. Right. It just, but
or just being able to pick up on their like tendencies. A deer gets spooked and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What did he see or hear or do? And like, happened? You go back and look at the footage and you're like, oh man, like,
he was locked on this.
Yeah.
Or he
locked on me. Or
you can tell if they're smelling something, licking their lips. But definitely been huge as far as, you make a marginal shot on a deer. there's times when you're in the woods, especially if you don't have a lighted nock. Like if you're by yourself and you just fire an arrow and you're not 100% sure on the shot. I mean, other than looking at the arrow, if you find the arrow and looking at the track and blood, that's the only thing you have to look back on as far as clues on where the deer's hit that can actually allow you to make a decision on what you do to recover. But I mean, the camera's helped us so many times and helped us recover deer because it's told us, oh, this deer's hit good, let's go get him. This deer's hit good, but needs
time,
a little, like an hour or two, and it's just helped us so much in that. So it's literally not just filming for the viewer. It's honestly a tool now. It really is.
Well, and honestly, our some of our biggest failures over the years are some of our more popular hunts.
Yeah, well,
I mean, and so from that standpoint, I guess from a business standpoint, or from, snowballing those views and that interaction, like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you're willing to show enough or show that, like, and that's where, I don't know, I feel like we're doing something a little different too, because we're not afraid to show that stuff.
No,
like, that's part of hunting though. Like, that's it. If you're perfect, you either
don't hunt a lot,
don't hunt enough, you haven't hunted enough, or you just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you're just full of it. You're full of it.
I mean, we get comments and stuff on YouTube. Guys are like, "Oh yeah, I'm one shot every single time, this and that." Okay. It's like, okay, you've
hunted 10 years ago, maybe,
or you shot 3 deer.
Right.
It just doesn't. You want it to happen. That's the goal. That's why we practice. That's why we spend so much time doing what we're doing. Because that's the mission.
Right.
Like, you're not trying to make mistakes, but there's so many variables with hunting.
Yeah.
There's so many variables that are out of your control. Like, it's a tough sport. That's why we do it. It's not easy and
humbling.
Yeah, it is.
Very humbling.
Things are gonna happen.
All right. Well, I know there was 1 or 2 questions on Instagram. I think I wanted to go over more industry related. If you wouldn't mind looking those up for us, but we appreciate y'all hanging in here with us and chatting or listening to us chat, I guess.
Yeah. So the one question was, it was regarding the industry and the diminishing numbers in it. So talk about how this is that reload life. Talk about how the hunting industry seems to be cannibalizing itself. We have fewer hunters than ever, and the industry seems to be stagnant. How do we fix this?
I mean, I think everybody's got to take a little look within, and just everybody in the hunting industry needs to take a little look within and take it amongst themselves to take somebody new out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we all started.
Get the youth involved.
We wouldn't have started if our dad or our uncle or grandpa wouldn't have been like, "Hey,
our family,
you're coming with us."
Yeah, it was like a family thing to do. It was a tradition. That was what the guys in the family were doing.
Right.
It doesn't have to be guys, but that's what.
Yeah.
That's how it was with us.
And with little to no expectations, you know. I don't think that you need to bring a hunter out there for the first time and they need to be the one holding the weapon or expect to shoot something.
No, absolutely not.
Go out there and give them an experience. Yeah. That's where I think
honestly, it should be that way.
Right. It's some of the stuff has become like so big buck and big buck this, big buck that, and like I need to shoot the biggest and the best and whatever, and like if that's like your MO, that's fine. Like if you're to that point in your hunting career or whatever, if that's what you like to do, I have my own goals and stuff too, but those are mine.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to hunt the same way. That doesn't mean this person has to hunt the same way. And it doesn't take away from the fact that us as hunters have the responsibility. If we want to keep the hunting industry and the hunting community alive, we have to help grow it. We didn't come about this by ourselves. There's probably very, very few, less than 1% of the hunters out there that have been like, I want to go hunting, have researched it on their own, have gone out and done it on their own, have experienced it completely on their own with no help.
Yeah.
I'd say less than 1%.
Oh yeah. You always have somebody or someone that gets you
involved, that helps you out. I mean, there's so many aspects of it, from actually going out and being able to set up in the right spot and being able to actually have a good experience seeing deer or whatever, to actually taking that animal and then taking care of it when it's done.
Right.
if you're not with somebody who's experienced in doing that, how are you going to know
Right.
what to do?
But I do think that's huge. Getting the youth involved, whether it's youth or not, bring them along without hunting. Like
Right.
without them, you don't have to throw them into the fire. Like see if they like it first. They might hate it, but I don't know. Sometimes that bringing them in and having the weapon, someone you're introducing the sport of hunting to someone completely new. It's just like it's a lot on them just to like. I mean,
It's intimidating.
bring them hunting. If you have the opportunity to harvest something great, they can experience that through you. If not, like just get them dip their toes in the water, see if they like it, and if they want to keep coming out, they start building a love for the sport a little
Right.
bit.
I mean, how
think-
many years did we hunt before we were ever putting a weapon in our hand? I mean, yeah, we started when we were young, but it was probably 5, 6, 7 years. I
Yeah,
don't know.
for sure, 5, 6. I mean, years.
And we didn't
going
care.
5, 6 years old.
I
we
want
didn't
to
care.
go with Dad. I want to go sit in the stand with Dad, and I just want to see something.
No, yeah, you were just as pumped. You were part of the show,
Yeah,
part of the team.
Well, you were part of the guys. You were part of the hunting group, and that meant something.
Yeah,
And I think that's where that's where it's kind of strayed away from, and we need to get back to more of that.
for sure.
And
I mean,
it's our responsibility.
I do think part of the reason why the numbers are going down is because there's such a this last like 10 to 20 years there's such a theme of grow your own deer, manage your land, let's grow big deer, which I love, we have a passion for, but I think that is probably like people are wanting more land to themselves.
Right.
They're wanting more of an opportunity to grow their own deer, and that's just slowly taking some people out of the sport. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it is. I mean, we used to shotgun hunting in New York. I mean, we used to have 10 to 15 guys at least on the weekend hunting 100 acres.
Right.
You know, driving deer, and I don't. With competition getting the way it is now, you know, just it's competitive, and us wanting to grow deer, like that has slowly shrank our camp. You know.
Right.
And it's not like on purpose to get people out. I think it's just kind of happened because certain people have different goals and
Right.
of their property. And I think more and more people are getting like that. So it's just, it's shrinking the opportunity. And I don't know how you fix that other than just getting new people involved so
Yeah.
that you can bring people up and you can still hunt that many people just having the same goals.
Right. 100%. Was there any more on there for?
Not really. Not with like that are hunting or like industry related.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things, and I mean, that's one of the reasons that we're doing what we're doing and trying to like bring a more of like an entertainment side of things to it, because I think it's important. I think it's important that the youth understands, even the youth, anybody understands that this is fun, and it's not all about that kill, but it's about like the process to get there.
Yep.
Because hunters, we've talked about it before, there's not a hunter that I know that is like, a diehard hunter that's like a lazy person. It's all about working hard to get to whatever goals you're trying to achieve and reach. And so hunting has instilled so many like disciplines and qualities in our lives, and that's one of the reasons why we're here promoting it. And I think we need to kind of get back to our roots and realize that we need to allow more people to root in our sport.
Yeah.
And enjoy it and have fun and allow them to make their own decisions if they want to stick around or not, but get them involved regardless so that they can at least say that they had a chance.
Yep, absolutely.
So with that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Looking forward to the next one.
It was a solid first session. We got some good topics coming up here. Dino is the master at talking about deer. He's like a mad scientist in the making. He's been in this beat laboratory for years, and we're finally going to let him out of the cage, and he's just dying to talk deer management and behavior, because that's what he literally eats, sleeps, and breathes. And I give him a lot of credit. Like, our hunt camp up in New York, it is designed, it is working like solely based on a majority of his efforts and the research that he's done to grow our food plots, to manage the deer, and he's very passionate about that. And so we're going to get into a lot more of like what we've learned over the years and our management style in the next couple episodes that we do. But I think this was a good start.
Great start. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about some of that stuff. It's it's just a passion of all of ours. But yeah, it'll be it was cool to kick this off this way and let everybody know kind of where we started, because we've been doing this for quite some time now. We've gone through a lot of battles, a lot of struggles to get here. Certainly glad we're still here, but it's cool to share kind of our story with you guys, because it hasn't just been pick up a camera and film and share content. We've been through quite the roller coaster and path to get here. So.
And yeah, I mean, I think we're proud that it hasn't been just kind of handed over and given to us, but also we're proud of everybody that's listening on here and everybody that watches us, on a daily or weekly basis. Like, we wouldn't be here without you guys. So can't thank you guys enough. Appreciate you guys hanging out for this first episode, and we'll see you right here next time on the Tag and Brag Podcast. Lamest name ever, but we'll fix that. Peace.
See you guys.
Look at that.
All right.
First one is in the books.
In the books.
A couple of hiccups here and there, a couple of them. Let her out.
Yeah,
She's probably, I'm just like, she's going to come down the stairs. There's going to be a hole in the door.